Hi again. Quite a few people asked me about the Mossberg Patriot, and I really didn't have too much to say because I didn't know anything about the Mossberg Patriot. It's another one of these rifles, along with the Savage Axis, which we just looked at, and the Ruger American, and a few others that are made, let's say, to budget standards. But apparently, it's an excellent rifle, and the people that were writing and emailing had fantastic things to say. So I ordered one. I just had a look at the end of the box. It's a 243. As usual, the video's unrehearsed. So I guess they call these videos like unboxings. So that's what this is. And you can have a look at the box here. There's no mistake that this is a Mossberg. There's no confusion there on the outside of the box. And so that's nothing unusual. Rifle comes in a bag. Oh yeah, this is one of those package deals. They seem to be popular these days. My Remington 783 was just like this, except it came, well, I didn't get it new in the box like this Mossberg. And that's a Vortex scope. I'm not even sure if that's a package from the factory. It could be. Anyway, and then we've got the bolt. So that's a typical two-lug bolt. We've got the pin for the bolt head. So that reminds me of the Savage Axis, but it only has the one set of locking lugs, no guide lugs in the back. It's nicely fluted bolt. That's popular these days. And that's all smooth. Bolt handles got some knurling on it, which is good. And you can see that the barrel has some minimal fluting. Is that halfway? Not quite halfway. And the stock is a typical polymer stock. Gee, you know, first impressions. It reminds me a lot of the Remington 783. That's probably not fair. I'm sure it's a good magazine. You know, they would go through testing. It's all plastic. There's no metal in the magazine. And the bolt operation is quite typical. Let's see if I notice anything unique. It's got, again, this always reminds me of Savage just because of their use of that configuration of trigger, which, by the way, is also not brand new. It's been around for a long time. Some people tell me it reminds them of a Glock trigger, which, anyway, we'll give this a try. So that's a completely clean break off. The safety is fine. You can still empty the rifle with the gun on safe. That seems to be the case. And the Vortex scope is, well, I don't need to, I mean, this one has the ballistic plex. Vortex scopes have an excellent reputation. I really can't say whether this gun was supposed to come with this Vortex scope or not. It was sold to me as new in box, but it wasn't from a store. Somebody got a hold of it. And of course, made in USA. Typical polymer stock. The material reminds me more of the Ruger American than of the 783, but we would have to take it apart to take a look. Anyway, I'm sorry, I really can't offer a more informed opinion. Out of the box, it looks like a quality firearm, and Mossberg has a good reputation. It has the usual Allen screws on the bottom. There are two of them. The trigger guard is integral with the stock, and it has some kind of rough surface here instead of impress checkering or anything else. Anyhow, the people that wrote me were wondering what I think, so probably I'm not helping too much. You can see this is, again, a Savage type barrel nut, but you can't see any grooves in it. Again, you would need a special type of wrench. This could also be installed with hydraulic pressure. It's hard to tell. But there it is. Very economical rifle. And at first blush it looks fine and the reports are good, so I would say you're probably safe to buy one for the people that were asking whether it's good or bad. And I mean, I took out for fun this Axis, well, I had it out anyway, and it's just another black rifle. I have a hunch that whether you bought a Savage Axis or the Mossberg Patriot or the Ruger American or the Remington 783, they probably, I mean, they must compare products in their factories and their research and development teams. Some might have some feature that you like more than others. Let's see if this bolt handle locks. Well, there's something. The bolt handle does lock into the back of the action. So if the lugs fail, you still have the bolt handle. That's not a big deal, but I did notice that on the Axis, they got rid of the back of the action. It looks like there's an action here, doesn't it? But this safety's just perched on the top of the trigger mechanism. So this bolt handle looks like it locks into the action, but it just locks into air. If something went wrong, this isn't going to take any pressure. But I haven't heard any stories about problems with the Savage Axis. So I hope that's useful to you. I'm sure there are countless videos where people are running around shooting everything with the Mossberg Patriot and the Savage Axis. And I'll probably take apart the Patriot, but like I said, at first blush, looks pretty good. And I mean, it's definitely, I would say, not worse than any others. Then you get the spiral fluting in the bolt and some fluting on the barrel. So I hope that's useful to you, kind of a shallow video. But that's about it on the Mossberg. And we'll move on to another subject.